Hi, my name is Yasmin Tarehi, and this is Startup Confessionals, where we interview startup founders and entrepreneurs in the Middle East and Africa. We'll learn about some of the biggest lessons these founders discovered on their journey from the personal to the professional and share how they keep themselves motivated. Today's episode is with Miray Tayfun, the co-founder and CEO of Vivoo, an application based on urine data that delivers personal advice to the individual for a healthier lifestyle. Miray graduated from Stanford postgraduate program specializing in go-to-market strategies, as well as diet and gene expression. She's previously founded companies in the medical diagnostics, smart home, and smart co-living spaces. Vivoo is the first at-home wellness tracker that uses urine to provide personalized insights and recommendations unique to the user's body while helping them track their hydration, pH, ketones, kidney and liver functions, and so much more. So welcome to the show, Miray.
Hi, Yasmin. How are you?
Happy to have you on here. And Miray, so can you briefly share your value proposition in your words with our audience?
Of course. So Vivoo is a wellness tracker, just like your Apple Watch, but instead of your steps, it helps you to track your key metrics. And how it works is you just urinate on one of our sticks and then scan it with your Vivoo application, and instantly you'll be getting your results. Recently, at CES, actually a couple of weeks ago, we launched our new version, Vivoo 2.0, now allows our customers to track their calcium, magnesium, vitamin C, salt consumption, even oxidative stress through their mobile phone with the help of our Vivoo tests. And the beauty of this is it just takes 2 minutes and you don't have to send anything to anywhere. You just need your phone and your Vivoo tests. And after you pee, you will get your results instantly.
Amazing. So what regions is Vivoo available in?
Our biggest target market is United States, and our biggest audience also is in the United States. It's followed by Canada, UK, and Australia. But we have customers from 100-something countries. Obviously, what we focus is North America, but I guess a global expansion is near.
Got it. And how often do people use the app? Like, do you recommend that people test once a week, once a month, every day? I guess maybe how often do you test?
So it really depends on your personal wellness journey. For me, I test myself on a daily basis. For Vivoo Light, I was testing myself 2 to 3 days, but now there's metrics like vitamin C, salt consumption, magnesium, and some of them I'm deficient at. So with supplementation support, I always track them on a daily basis now. Some of our customers take daily, some of them weekly, and some customers just test them once a month. So depends on what you're looking for. If you're a keto dieter, you can test yourself twice a day.
Wow, that's actually a very important use case for folks who are doing keto. Miray, what about the reason that you decided to tackle this particular industry and market? Can you walk us through your journey?
Yeah, it is coming from a kind of personal pain. I'm a biohacker myself, so I used to try all the products in the market, like 23andMe, Biome, Everlywell tests. I have all the wearables. I have a Whoop, I have an Aura, I have an Apple Watch, I have a Fitbit. So I am really interested in me, and the main purpose of self tracking is to unlock the potential that you can live a better life, a more energetic life, but we don't have all the tools. So what I'm trying to figure out is what my body needs with different tools. And my biggest problem was like the wearable devices, like Auras and Apple Watches and everything. Even though they're super easy to use, the data they provide is superficial. It's like step, heart rate, activity, and so on, and sleep. That's it. And when you go to the other side, at-home tests like 23andMe, like genetic tests like 23andMe, Biome, Everlywell, let's get checked. All these tests are amazing that you can collect your sample at home and send it to a lab. but it takes a long time to get your results. And when the result comes, it's not that engaging. And another problem is they're so expensive.
Yeah.
So I already worked with urine tests before, and what we wanted to create is something that you can do truly at home. Doesn't require so much time, easy to use, engaging, and affordable. That is how Vivoo's first concept born.
And how long have you been in this business? And how can you walk us through like how the product has transformed since the beginning? I know you mentioned Vivoo Light and this new kind of, I guess, what was it called? Like another type of Vivoo. But can you walk us through like what the initial maybe intention was and how that's evolved, and perhaps how it's going to continue to evolve?
Yeah, it's a funny question because I'm at the SF now, and we were cleaning some old documents, and I found so many old tests looking like hilarious, in weird packaging, and yeah, like we started in 2018. We started with a pre-seed funding from 500 Startups Investment Fund. It was at an idea stage back then. What it was we were giving you a urine test, you were taking a picture and emailing it to us, and the results was coming to your email. So it was a pretty immature version. Then with this pre-seed money we built our first MVP. Then we tested a little bit in the markets with early adopters such as keto, paleo dieters, etc. And after that, we built a second version that was also an MVP, but for a bigger scale for mostly millennials, pre-post menopause women, and biohackers, quantified self audience to understand if the product also provide value for the day-to-day life. And now actually we launched a real product, I call it, because it came a long way with the data it tracks, the user experience, but I still like where it's like, I don't know, 5% there. Because what we want to achieve is an experience of tracking your body metrics, understanding them, and really capturing the insights and apply that to your everyday life. So that is a really like a big user journey. Imagine you can track your magnesium level at home, understand what your body needs, understand how much you have in your body, and eating the right food to support that data. It is a pretty conscious self. It is a new way of living, and we're always constantly working on the user journey to support our customers in that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so interesting because I think a lot of people are so disconnected from knowing or understanding what's actually happening with their own personal health. And we have so much data on so many other things in our life, except for, what's happening inside of us. And so I can't think of anything more important. I'm wondering, in terms of audience, is there like a specific demographic or type of person that is interested in this product? And yeah, I'm just curious, like what you guys have learned from your audience.
Yeah, at the beginning, like when we first started, it was more clear. Now we're seeing so many different segments of users, because like Vivoo is providing different benefits for different audiences. I already mentioned keto. Keto dieters were already using keto tests, but Vivoo comes with backtracking and multiple other metrics, so they show a really high interest. We have a lot of millennial women users who are looking into longevity and beauty and being more energetic. A weight loss there are people who use Vivoo for weight loss purposes, even though we don't claim to help you to lose weight. It supports them with their water intake, with their balanced pH, with the right nutrient intake. And yeah, it goes so on and on. Like we have some different segments showing interest into Vivoo for different purposes.
Amazing. And can you talk to us about your funding journey, like how your priorities may have shifted as you have grown and maybe reprioritized the product roadmap? How have your priorities shifted?
So we started with a pre-seed from 500 Startups Investment Fund. Then we joined to Techstars Accelerator this time in Dubai in 2019. Um, Shortly after that, we closed our seed round, led by Draper Associates. And now recently in 2021, we closed our Series A, again led by Draper Associates, followed by Otsuka Pharmaceuticals venture arm, Once Ventures, 500 Startups Investment Fund, Halogen Ventures, and Global VC and Revo Capital from the region.
Wonderful. And how did you go about meeting these investors? Was it easy or relatively easy for you? Was there a lot of introductions? I think a lot of people have questions about how that works.
Yeah, fundraising is a tricky process. It is never easy. At least it's never easy for me personally, because I feel like fundraising is like a camp for me, like a boot camp, but that takes 6 months, 4 months. It's a different mindset. And obviously, you will need a lot of warm introductions. What we relied on was our previous investors. So we were lucky. We had 500 startups and Halogen Ventures from our seed round were constantly making us warm introductions, also angels. Like how we met with Global VC, for example, was through an angel. How we met with Once Ventures was through, I guess, Halogen Ventures or so. So what I'm trying to say is you always need those channels to those investors. And once you don't have them, what you do is cold reach out. As you know, like you write them, hey, you're fundraising, this is our pitch deck. And in my experience, that never worked for me. I reached out maybe in our seed round, pre-seed, thousands of investors personally. I send them letters with products, ship them, etc. It never worked for me as good as more introductions. But I believe the best way to meet investors is in an organic way, in an event, in a place. I don't know if you're in the valley or I know with the COVID it's harder, but the best relationships are built with a real, organic, genuine, I don't know, coincidences, in my experience at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think maybe the big thing that people ask about when it comes to these types of wellness products is like the level of accuracy and also, yeah, like how accurate the data is. And I know you have a background in medical diagnostics, so I'm super curious like how that has worked for you, how you've been able to kind of prove the efficacy of the data.
In our product, it is, I guess, relatively easier to prove its accuracy because you can run laboratory tests. Some of our investors did it to see the accuracy, and some of them just looked into our documents that showcases accuracy results. Because it's a color change and you're looking for color change accuracy level. That's a pretty easy part. About the science behind the color changes, I guess not all investors are interested, but we have a pharmaceutical company invested in Vivoo. Obviously, they were super interested in the chemicals and how they change color, etc. So for Vivoo Light, our previous product, when we were raising money, we had that product on the market. We have around 90% accuracy compared to hospital urine tests. For Vivoo Premium, the new version, it's actually much higher because we added multiple new elements to our urine test strips, and we have a much bigger database now because our image processing works on a machine learning methodology. So with more data, it gets more and more accurate, and it's around 95% accurate right now compared to hospital medical devices along the parameters.
Wow. Amazing. So how has the pandemic impacted your business? Because you started, I guess, like 2 years before the pandemic started. So how did that shift your maybe business plan and for the road ahead?
Yeah, like we always wanted to go to B2B when we started. The reason behind that is we believe the market share of Vivoo will increase much faster through B2B2C channels. But with COVID and with pandemic, most of the corporates were like, at the beginning, if you remember, were not spending any money, like preserving, waiting to see what's going to happen. So we had to go to direct to consumer. And I guess it was a good thing that happened for us because we had the opportunity to build a presence in the consumer space. Now B2B customers are reaching us out.
Oh, amazing. So you offer both right now.
We offer both right now. Yeah.
And what about what you sacrificed in order to build this company? I think a lot of times people talk about wins and successes, but they don't talk about some of the kind of, moments of adversity or challenges. How do you deal with challenges in your business? As I'm sure it comes up, time and time again. How do you sort of think about challenges and how do you move through them?
Yeah, I guess the biggest challenge is stress. You might know, and learning to manage your stress is a long journey. You think you get there sometimes, but then something happens that makes you, I don't know, cry, upset, that you don't want to go out from that bed, that day, because you don't want to deal with that problem. So my biggest challenge was, I guess, learning to be a more patient person and learning to deal with this stress, or I will say pressure, that is always in my head. And that is a burden, actually. Like sometimes you might feel like, oh, what if I had a different job that doesn't make me feel like that, that always under pressure of because I feel responsible for all of our customers, all of our investors, all of my teammates. It's a lot of pressure when you think about the scale. But I guess it's something that can be learned off, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. Time will show.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about like keeping yourself motivated? How do you just continuously, get up in the morning and stay motivated, working through all these challenges? Or could it just even be, how do you keep yourself motivated? Because I think everyone's got like their own routine, whether it's like a morning routine or reading certain books. But yeah, I'm just curious, like, what is it that keeps you kind of centered?
Yeah, like I guess it depends from my mood cycles. I guess sometimes I'm this biggest superstar in my eyes. Wake up early, go to gym, come back, write my journal, finish my emails by 10 a.m. Having a great breakfast, making my calls, everything. But sometimes I cannot get out of the bed too. Like I'm a normal human being. So in those times, I just learned to do one thing. If I feel like I cannot even leave the bed because there's so much work to do and I'm under stress of don't know what to do, because that happens to people, like no point of saying no, not ever. And what I do is calling my co-founders. They fix me up, or they say, okay, don't worry, rest today, like, because we have this huge tempo that never stops. Sometimes resting a couple of hours, not waking up late helps. Then they say to me, hey Miray, like just rest, I'll handle this, I'll take that call. And vice versa, when it happens to them, what I say is like, hey, rest, like, I don't know, have a 2 days break. Supporting each other, I guess, is the best way. So what I learned to do is call them and tell them, rather than hide and not respond. And that is a way to tolerate it. Most of the days I'm okay, but obviously sometimes something happens that puts you really down. It happens to everyone, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And I hear that from a lot of people, that their relationship with their co-founders is really the thing that keeps them, centered and resilient, really, as they move through the art of building a company. And is there like a specific mentor or person in your life that has really allowed you to grow through this experience? Or is it something that you just learn on the job? Like, or is it a mix of both?
Mix of both. Books really help, by the way. Journaling is I guess the biggest support in this. Like if you journal your thoughts in the morning and at night, that really helped me to see everything more clearly, and things that you stressed a week ago, how light they were, just to realize life itself. But mentors as well, because I live in the valley. I had the opportunities to meet with amazing people. Like Tim Draper is one of them. Even though we meet rarely, whenever we met, and I talk about the future plans, the way he guides our, I don't know, journey with simple tips and tricks is always helping me a lot. I have some mentors from marketing space, business coaches, etc. I also have a coach myself, that helps me to deal with some of my problems. It can be simple as I fight with my co-founder and I'm so angry at her, something simple as that. Or I'm really feeling that I have this weak skill in my leadership on this area and I want to work on it. Then she gives me the tools, to sources to read or just discuss on the topic. I think it's really important to surround yourself with knowledge and support. So when you fail, you will have the tools to get up yourself.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, what about something that has surprised you the most since you've been on this journey?
Mm-hmm. I guess when you the interesting question. When you trust the process and do your best, everything just works out in a magical way. So over worrying doesn't help anything. I guess that still surprises me, like, because if you just trust the process and do what you have to do, it kind of gets there. And even if it doesn't get there, you don't feel guilty. I wish I knew this much sooner, because I had and have this problem of over worrying on smallest things, which doesn't help anything.
Oh, yeah. Don't we all? I've heard someone say that worrying about something is like praying for what you don't want.
Yes, right. Then, like, all the negativity you bring to your brain is affecting everybody, including you and your surroundings. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the work. And so I love that. So you do meditation and you do journaling and just the awareness around worrying is so important too. Just having awareness around how we show up and what might get us kind of off our path is so important. You mentioned also books as something that has helped you grow. So I'd love to ask you what books have been most important to you in this journey.
Mm. So I don't know, like the classics like 0 to 1 and everything, I guess can be always should be read. But on marketing and mindset purposes, like purposes for marketing, Contagious really affected me. And in terms of business and personal development, I guess Courage to be Disliked is one of the best books I have ever read. And I read it time to time, or sometimes I even go back to the summary of it. It's just because there are some sections inside that really breaks the wrong information in your brain and replace it with a new one. So it's a really life-changing book. And the most important part for me was there was a section called "There is no competition." And I was always such a competitive person with myself, with the competitors, etc. And I never realized it was consuming me and consuming my brain, because I was focusing so much on who is better at what, rather than enjoying the journey and improving myself. Like small things, small information there really, really effective. I would recommend it to you too, Yasmin. Have you read it?
No, I haven't. And I'm super curious because I think that this is something, especially in California. So I used to live in San Francisco and now live in Los Angeles, although I might be moving back. But the courage to be disliked, I think, is so important in California, because I think a lot of people are often not as transparent, I think, with disappointing people, mostly because I think we can't sit in the discomfort of it. So, I obviously know that the book probably has a lot of layers, but the title itself is intriguing, and I think an important book for many of us to pick up.
I would recommend it, yeah.
Amazing. Okay. And so what is your kind of main takeaway for our audience? What do you want people to do after this conversation, other than download Vivoo? But that definitely is a great call to action. I also plan to download Vivoo and start tracking, because I think it's just an amazing product. And I'd love to know more about what's going on inside my body. So you already got one
I'll
conversion.
send you some tests.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you want to tell our audience?
If they're entrepreneurs, like, I don't know, give me a call. We can chat whenever you want. Like, just keep going. You're doing great. I would like to say to entrepreneurs. If you're investors, we should invest more in women, I guess. And I don't know, like startup is such a personal journey too, right? Like everybody's experiencing it differently, but support is important. And at the end of the day, let's not forget it's a journey. It's not a moment. It's not a place to, arrive. It's not where you left. It's a journey. So I guess 23andMe CEO said once, like, people forget to enjoy the journey. Just enjoy the journey, like, because it won't happen again. So that's my, I guess, biggest takeaway from the speech. Like, don't forget the journey. Enjoy the moments that makes the journey.
Yes, amen to that. Yes, enjoy the journey. We're always so fixated on the destination and like forget to enjoy the day-to-day. So, and I'm sure that you learn so much about yourself in the process, which is really I think maybe the whole point of all of it. So yeah, well, Mira, thank you so much for your time. This was such a lovely conversation. Is there any question that you think I should have asked or that you'd like me to ask that we didn't cover in this conversation?
No. Thank you so much. Thank you. It was such a pleasure.
Okay, great. And so for our audience, thanks for joining and for listening to Startup Confessionals.